Hello everyone and welcome to today's healing subscription. As you can see, a little bit of a change of scenery. I've just actually moved my desk to the other corner. I wanted a little bit more space to move around and to do things. So today we're going to dive in with our Wands of Horus cards and the vortex, or the circle that I packed. So we'll bring all of that up in a moment. Just a reminder that this is a group healing session, so things may or may not make sense to you. If there's an emotion or a sense or a feeling or a reading, because there's some cards coming in, that doesn't fully make sense to you, just tune into it and imagine what it would feel like if it did relate to you. Because if you can bring your feelings and emotions into this, then you can shift a lot more. Okay, so let's move on to share screen. And we're going to dive into today's work. So as always, let's start with our tune in. And I'm going to just hide that. You don't really need to see me. Just spend a moment to think about what it is that you would like to achieve or receive or heal in today's session. And this could be, you could have one of each category. So perhaps it's something that you want to release, perhaps it's something that you want to heal, something that you want to receive, something that you want to manifest. Just make a mental list of all of those things. And then allow your eyes to settle anywhere on the light code. Or perhaps let your eyes trace the light code. So I have a copy of this light code in the center of our grid today. So if you need a little bit more time to connect to the code, just to ensure that you're fully in the circle, you may do so. You may pause the recording. When you're ready, take a nice deep breath in and hold. Just crystallize your wishes and intentions. And exhale. So I have a circle packed using the Wands of Horus cards. For today, I'm not going to go into any detail about what cards go where and why they go there. Just know that each of the cards have a field around them, a type or a type of vortex. Each one's got a slightly different frequency. And when we place them next to each other or in specific formations, these fields interact with each other. And so one of the fields will talk to the next one, will talk to the next one, and together they form a vortex pattern or a field pattern. And in the center of all of that is us. So behind the cards, you'll see the light code peeking out behind that central card. So I was guided to draw some cards from the Wands of Horus. Oh, sorry, not the ones, that's my cards, from the Book of Doors deck. And the cards that came up for today was Alsar and Imhotep. So looking at this, it tells me or shows me that Alsar is about death and resurrection. So this is about letting go of what no longer serves. And so this could be anything. Perhaps it's something that you're wanting to manifest, and it's not really the right thing for you. And because you're so hell-bent on wanting to manifest this one thing, you're not opening up to the universe for receiving something that could potentially be better. So I invite you to, when you set the intention or when you call for something that you want to manifest, release it and let it go. And know that what is the best for you is what you will receive. And I just want to pause the video very quickly because there's a quote that I want to bring in, and I just forgot what it was. It's just something that came through now as I was mentioning about letting go and all of that. So I want to just bring in that quote very quickly. I found it. So when you're wanting to manifest something, set the intention what you want to manifest. And then say to the cosmos or to the universe or to God and all that is, whatever is appropriate for you. You just ask, is this my path? If this is not my path, don't give it to me. Give me my path instead. So I'm just going to say that again. Is this my path? If this is not my path, don't give it to me. Give me my path instead. And this is quite important because sometimes we get so stuck on what it is that we are trying to manifest or bring in that we forget about other options or things that may be available there. Alsara is also about mystical revelation. So perhaps when you open up to the universe to receive something greater or different to what it is that you asked for, perhaps there's a revelation of sort that you'll receive. So Alsara is our starting point. Alsara is Osiris, if you haven't made that connection just yet. Where we are heading to is Imhotep. And Imhotep is all about healing. He is the divine healer. And so I think whatever it is that you ask for today, whatever your intention is, receiving Imhotep as our outcome is a very good confirmation to say that healing will be received. So really, really good combo that we've got over here. But do let go of what no longer serves. That is very important. You'll also notice that both of them are looking over towards the left. And so when I look at it from this way, it's almost like they're looking both into the past. And so Osari is saying, let go of something in the past that is holding you back. And Imhotep is saying, let's send healing to that aspect that is holding you back. So I just placed the male and female Wands of Horus cards on top of those. So the masculine on Asar and the feminine on Imhotep, so that we can pull the energy from the masculine into the feminine. The feminine is the receptive side. Today we're going to be working with the Prometheus set, Universal Pendulums. So you've seen the other set that I've got, the Merkaba set, which is all white. These come in two colors. So the black one is the Gaia pendulum and the white one is Helios. And so Gaia is the mothering or the receptive side, the nurturing, fertile, mothering side. And Helios is the active, masculine energy. So I've already dowsed to see what colors we need to bring through, what radiostatic colors, and what frequencies. And so with each one that's coming up, I want you to tune into the frequency and what it is that you receive for each of them. It may not make much sense, and that's okay. Some of it may make sense. You don't need to understand everything for it to work. Just breathe and feel. And I'm going to do this live while we're on, so you may hear some clicking and all kinds of things as I'm getting the pendulums ready for each of the different frequency, but I will talk to you as I'm going through with each of these. And I need to just make sure that I've got my images ready. So our first frequency that's coming through for today is gold. And we are working with the Gaia pendulum. So we're working on the on the electric frequency. So I'm just quickly setting up the pendulum to get ready for the session. And we are on the second octave. Now, the second octave is about the mental, emotional side. So pendulum is ready and we're going to start our swing. Okay, so just breathe nice, slow and deep. Just receive the frequency of gold. Gold is a regenerative color. So just to regenerate and purifies the mind of any negative thoughts. Really good for strengthening our willpower. And it's a natural antidepressant. And so the Gaia pendulum is allowing us to receive this frequency. The pull on the pendulum is actually quite strong. So she's still spinning. Just breathe nice, slow and deep. Pay attention to any sensations in your body. Okay. Staying with the Gaia pendulum, we're moving on to the magnetic frequency or spectrum, and we are bringing in the color blue, radiostatic color blue. And we are still on octave 2, which is the mental emotional side. So breathe nice, slow and deep and receive the frequency of blue. So blue is really good for releasing inflammation. Now, when we look at the mind and the emotions, inflammation can be seen as negative emotions or mental patterns that is sitting, that's hot and is not moving. Blue also alleviates pain, so this could be emotional or mental pain. And wherever there's stagnation, usually there's pain that sits just behind that. Blue is about refreshing energy, flexibility, so flexibility to our emotions and our mind. And there is a contracting energy to blue, so perhaps your mind and emotions is a little bit scattered and hanging out of your body. And so blue is gently pulling this back into your field and then sealing your field. Okay, done on that one. Switching over to the Helios pendulum and working on the electromagnetic meridian. And our color that we're working with is ultraviolet. Oh, sorry, not ultraviolet. Yeah, ultraviolet. UV. And we're working on the third octave. The third octave is about the physical body. It's the longest wave. Okay, so that's spinning now. So just nice, slow, deep breathing. And allow yourself to receive the ultraviolet frequency. So now we're working on the physical level. So ultraviolet alleviates pain on the physical level. And it repairs DNA. It's amazing for the skin. So rejuvenating the skin. Eliminates blocks. Nice and deep breathing. Just be aware of what you sense in and around your body. Staying with Helios, we're moving into infrared. And we remain on the electromagnetic frequency here as well. We're just setting up the pendulum and its location. Infrared. And this time we're going back to the second octave, so the mental, emotional level. And breathe it in. Infrared is a stimulating energy, but it also grounds. So even though it activates frequencies and energies and it stimulates, it has a grounding effect as well. So on the mental, emotional level, perhaps it may speed up or activate or stimulate the mental or emotional patterns that's holding you back. And then once they're shaken loose, it pulls them into the earth where the energies can be transmuted. Infrared has a detoxifying quality as well. So removing toxins from these mental, emotional patterns that is no longer serving. Breathe it in, soak it up. Switching over to the Gaia pendulum again. Working on the magnetic meridian, the blue meridian. And bringing in the frequency of orange. This time we're working on the first octave. So this is the spiritual level. Okay, so spinning is going. So just nice, slow, deep breathing and just soak it up. Receive the frequency of orange. Orange is all about purging, releasing waste, elimination. So it's a very cleansing energy, especially when it comes to any of our organs and glands to do with elimination. So bladder, kidneys, colon, skin. Of course, we are working on the spiritual level over here. So we would look at the spiritual counterparts for the bladder, kidney, skin, colon. Perhaps more on the etheric levels. Look up the frequency for orange. And be aware of any sensations in and around your body. All done. Next color. Next one, we're going back to the Helios pendulum. And we are working on the electric meridian and with the color green. And this would be a positive green. And we're still working on our spiritual level. So we are ready to spin. There we go. So green is obviously, it's a very positive color. This to cleanse and detoxify and purify. And very balancing. When we look at the color spectrum, green takes up the largest chunk of the visible color spectrum. Out of all of the colors, green takes up most of the space. So it's no wonder that wherever we look in nature, we see green and varying shades of green. Breathe it in, soak it up. Becoming aware of any sensations you feel in and around your body. Now switching over to the Gaia pendulum, again the black one. This time working with indigo. We're on the magnetic frequency and on the second octave, so mental emotional. And just to receive that frequency of indigo. Indigo is a transmuting energy, so transmuting any of that mental emotional patterns that we may still have. Has a little bit of a sedating quality to it. So if there's any excitement or anxiousness, that should start dissipating as we're bringing this indigo frequency in. Indigo, like blue, has a contracting quality as well. And so when we talk contracting here, it's not a negative thing. It's taking your energies that's flapping around all around your field and it's pulling them in nice and tight. And it will put a protective layer around your auric field just to keep it all contained. So important when we're going out into the world that we can have our field tight and intact so that you don't end up taking on everybody else's stuff. Staying on the Gaia pendulum, working on the electric frequency, and we're bringing in the radiostatic color of silver. So on the second octave, mental emotional side, bringing in silver and receive that frequency. The silver is a really good detoxifier. What it does is just on like the creative level, it gives you a little bit of a push or impetus to, and a support for you to really step into your creative power and to allow you to implement your ideas. So perhaps you've been procrastinating, and so silver gives you this push to stop the procrastination and move into a space where you can create and work with your creative processes. Just allow yourself to receive, be like a sponge. And one last color, back to the Helios, and we're working with indigo, this time on the magnetic frequency or spectrum. And we are working on the physical body. So let's go. I'm just going to get this one spinning. In my experience, I find that usually indigo is one of the final colors because of that contracting frequency that it has this ability to really pull in all of the frequencies and just tighten it up and hold it. And I'd say probably 90% of the time it will be on the physical level when it's the final color. Not always, but sometimes. Just allowing this frequency of indigo to come in. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold. Crystallize. And when you're ready, exhale. I'll do two more cards just to see how it will all pan out. So now that the work has been done, and our first card is Keret. And Keret is all about initiation. It's usually some secret initiation. So I would say this would be an initiation, a personal initiation based on what your intentions were. So it's a transmission of energy of sorts. You can see that she's standing on the water. The water is also that emotional aspect, the creative aspect. And she's got the two serpents with infinity signs on either side of her. That's also a creative aspect. So some new creative way of seeing perhaps what life was like in the past and also how life could be in the future. So definitely in a new direction and new path. And then the second card is Mescanet. And Mescanet is all about birthing something new. So it indicates new beginnings. It could be materialization or manifestation of something. And usually when Mescanet comes in, there is sometimes, not always, some connection with astrology or astrological timing or something like that. So it could be that whatever it was that you were trying to manifest did not yet come because the timing wasn't quite right. And so with Mescanet here in the process, it's almost an indication that now is the right time. And so again, trust the process. She's got the eternity sign, Shen, sitting behind that blue symbol. And the eternity sign it's an indication of eternity or infinity, but at the same time, it's also a symbol of protection. And so it's quite apt, I would say, seeing that we finished our final spin on the pendulum was the indigo spin, and she's got this indigo symbol around her. I just noticed that now. And also what I noticed, which is quite interesting, is both of them are looking towards the right. So our first two cards, Alsar and Imhotep, they were both looking to the left, like really looking into the past, where Keret and Mescanet are both looking into the future. So I'd say there'd definitely be some shift, energetic shift. So yes, I'd love to hear from you or what you experienced, perhaps sensations that you felt during the session, or perhaps afterwards, how things unfold for you. It's always beautiful to hear the stories of the healing and the unfolding. So that concludes our work for today. I'd say let's just quickly lock that in or anchor that in. Take middle finger and just place that behind your ears on the mastoid process at round bone. And just give it a little bit of a press in there. Take a deep breath in and hold. Perhaps turn your eyeballs up to your forehead. Hold the breath. And slowly, easily, gently exhale. A little bit of pressure on the mastoid process behind the ears. And all done. So that's all for today. I see you in the next session. I look forward to working with you again. Sending you lots of love and light. Take care.